Welcome to beta version 0.3.17, which was released around about September 12th, 2018. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Aviary was introduced in May of 2018. And along with Aviary was a few additions to levels, things like the expanded third level of vault, and the sorry no emote was added. But then, and of course Aviary was added, but then this version was a complete change. Everything pretty much changed. Flight, constellations, almost everything about gameplay changed. Rainbow candles were added and hearts were added in the Aviary update in May, and they have been now taken out of the game as of this update. I'm going to go back and do some highlight videos, or a highlight video of some of the things between May and September, but I felt like doing this first because this was a huge update. Everything changed. The entire way we played the game changed. We have bird statues, and this is where the constellations started to factor in really big. It's kind of the start of the really big focus on the constellations. Obviously empty. This is a brand new aisle. I think it was brand new. Pretty sure it was brand new aisle on this update. It might have been added the update before. This is pretty much when I started making new accounts, mostly so I could experience this all fresh as a first-time player again, because so much still to this point there are things you couldn't see anymore. So it's interesting. These little shrines here were added, and said this is going to become something, and it never did. However, now that I look at this, I wonder if this was an early version, an early idea of what our meditation shrines are now, or the message candle shrines we have lying about. It looks kind of like it could be what they were thinking of for that. So it's interesting to look at this now, but that never actually became anything in the game. It just sat there, a mystery. We also got added in screen recording in May, I think, but it was only like 15 seconds. And then they made it to 4 minutes. I'm looking at control schemes, because we have different control schemes now. Console mode, mixed mode. Just a lot of things changed. Now, I didn't notice if that was actually 15 seconds. I don't remember now. My notes aren't in front of me for exactly when we got the 4 minutes expanded. This might have been only 15 seconds. This might be new here too. Looking at views here. I actually really like this aisle. I thought it was very pretty views. You notice we're no longer born dark. We now have light, or have lit bodies anyway. I fell off these things more times than I can count. And yes, you could fall off of them and be warped back. So if you notice, I had to go back and look. Dragging from the corner to run is now a thing, so you can actually run rather than always have to tap the screen. But I feel like it was, maybe to me, just felt slower, so I was still flicking a lot. So there's bells. Bells were a thing, a focus here in this version of the story. Now I suddenly have a candle. Where it came from, I don't know. How we got our cape changed here. And I'm watching this almost fresh again. I know basically what was added, but some of it might be, I don't remember this very well. But this was a huge update that added a whole bunch of areas to Prairie. So that was a big change, and then a whole quest thing and everything. Use light to reveal the path ahead. These same images. This got stuck sometimes, got frozen. And tells you, hey, go do something over there. There I am, just running. Okay, you can see that. I wasn't seeing it before. You can see the D-pad there. Touch both doors. I do remember when they added the D-pad, some people really, really disliked it. And so it went through some polishing. And then this is completely different. There's our bird. Lighting the candles. And sadly, we have lost our boats. I don't recall if this was the first aisle we lost our boats in, or if there's one I need to record or need to publish, but we have lost our boats at this point. Grandpa is once again alone. Those spirits were there in a previous version, but now again there are no emotes in aisle. They have moved. Those poor emotes point and come here. They just kept moving back and forth all over the place. Laugh was taken in and taken out and put back in. Sorry, no was added. Laugh was taken out with Aviary. And then here's where the constellation. I've got my flight at the bottom of the constellation. Grandpa gives you your cape now. You can see we started with a different hairstyle. Than we do now anyway. Now he calls birds. And birds are going to help you get to the next place. No more boats. So sad. I don't honestly know why. Well, I think it was when they added Aviary. So once again, we have this giant hand of God thing telling you what to do. And then this was our flight. Not horribly unlike the flight we do now, currently. For a while there was a little trick about that transition. Yep, it's still there. That's the old Prairie hub that was in previous videos, and you could still get back to that. That was the original Prairie hub. The music is pretty. Long press anywhere but yourself to rise. fly near clouds or birds to replenish your... Oh, we had an automatically, you can see it's that first wedge for a while, anyway, the first wedge was, for everybody for a while, the first wedge was auto regenerating, and then it was, notes said it was supposed to be for new players to help with learning to fly. But it was for everybody. They got rid of that eventually. Flight went through so many changes with how powerful your cape was and how fast your recharge was and all that. So much. At one point, we could fly anywhere. I mean, just anywhere. It was easy, way too easy. Even I thought it was way too easy. I mean, you could fly anywhere. Okay, so now here's Aviary. Hooray! Crossroads to the clouds. And here's where now we have our tutorial. This was kind of cute, but maybe a little heavy-handed. Only non-player character in the game, NPC, who actually looks a lot like my friend Troggy, but anyway. She's calling me down there, so I shall go. And showing friendship candle, accepting a gift. I actually have all these videos commentated already with my original commentary. But I thought it would be more interesting for me to watch it again and newly commentate it just like I am the rest, because it doesn't exist anymore. If I release the commentary, people would think it was a real game. NPC, I think is what I wrote. She takes your hand and then shows you some things. And the first thing she's going to show you is bird statues. And I don't recall if this is exactly the first version with them, but anyway. She's not going to show you the bird statue. She's going to take you to the bird statue but not mention it. This is going to be the story. Seeking out the ancestors. Journey to their lands. Like that addition. Journey to their lands. Together we will replenish the stars, which is pretty much what we do. And then we have the bird statue. That shows you basically what's in Aviary here. And that's something else that was added. The cosmetic kiosks are gone. Bird statues where you get cosmetics. And a bunch of cosmetics were added to the game, including the black and white capes. So now she is telling me to go on to Prairie. This part I didn't like. I'm like, why rush the new player onto Prairie when there's probably a gazillion people back behind there to meet and make friends with. Now she was supposed to turn around and point you to Prairie, but I had her messed up because of where I'm sitting. So she pointed me back towards Aviary. So anyway, she wants me to go to Prairie, but I'm gonna not go to Prairie just yet. I'm gonna look around our beautiful Aviary a little tiny bit first. And this is not the first version of Aviary. I noticed looking at a picture of the original Aviary that some things have changed. There's the closet. There's our instrument closet. Instruments were added with Aviary in May, along with purple candles, rainbow candles, and that's how you got the instruments. Message candles are also added. You'll see message candles laying about. They were a nuisance. Absolutely the worst idea ever. Being everywhere in the world. Once they put them in their little shrine areas where they are now, it's fine. So here's our emotes that have moved now to Aviary. And they were not originally in Aviary. Originally they were in aisle still, even with the addition of Aviary. The only emote that was originally in Aviary was the sorry no emote. Then they ended up moving everything into Aviary, except the laugh emote and the hands to head emote, which were also in this Prairie area when this was Prairie. So things had to move around a little bit. So here's the sorry no emote once we light the candles. And actually, I do have an Aviary video that I have commentated, again, new. So I will release that before I release this. So you'll see what the original Aviary looked like before you see this one. And there's the point emote. He's going to point me back towards the NPC, except it's to the left. But anyway. Oh, and that's me, by the way, with the harp and my black cape. Black cape was new with this this edition, this update. But once that black cape came out, that's what I wore. Loved it. What I'd always wanted in Journey was a black cloak, so I got a black cape. And I forgot to change the camera because, as you can see, my little character there is actually in the lead. So there's capes. Or I can't tell what that is, actually. Oh, the new player has no access, apparently. I don't remember that. But the new player has no access to the closet. I'm showing that was pants. This is masks. But the new player has no access. I thought I'd go no face. What the heck? Hair. We didn't get a bunch of hairs. We got the two. I can't remember what all cosmetics got added with this one. Not the pigtail braids yet. Those didn't come till winter. The pigtail braids were a big thing. So back to the, which I can't access again. I can't access that bird statue again. It's not giving me a button. I think that's a friend of mine in the white cape. And you can see she's trying on cosmetics, which you can do at the bird statue. You can change your cosmetics and try on cosmetics you don't yet own. And she has the fireworks staff. So we're going to head on to Prairie, and then that's where the biggest changes took place in this version of Sky. The nice thing about these portals is they were a little bit wider. I think, though, these ones got narrower. Again, oh well. Okay, so now I'm going to skip ahead 3 days because this fits more into the Aviary video than it does to the Vault video. But I have just finished Vault on this account, and now I've come back to Aviary for the first time, and I get this animation, which is each of the doors to the portals I've completed opening. So I can now go to mountains, I can now go to forest, I can now go to wasteland, which will be the next one, opening there, and then I can go to Vault, which is underneath. The tunnel underneath to go to Vault. And that's what you got when you completed every level. Now each of the lights on the storm door opens with each level you've completed or each realm you've visited, completed. And then you can light every button on the door. And unlike with the initial Aviary introduction, you can go to storm alone. You just have to light every single button yourself. It was hard for chibis to reach some of those buttons. As you see the bird statue, the Vault one is a tunnel. The aisle one is off to the left. I'm going to show you that in a second. There's the quest master. And we're going to head on over to our quest master. And this was, I think he was actually introduced with Aviary, maybe shortly after Aviary was introduced. And actually, I think you did not necessarily get, just like today, you did not necessarily get credit for quest that you complete before you tap on him. I did get the one going to Wasteland though, so we did get that. But the quest master also didn't appear until after you'd completed Prairie or something like that, after you'd completed some level. So you didn't get him initially when you're brand new. So now we're going to head over, and I'm glad I did this, to the pit that was the return to Isle, which you also could not do until you'd gone through so much of the game. Just like now, you can't go back to Isle directly after you finished Isle. You have to go through Prairie, or into Prairie at least, I think. We had all this darkness coming down this tunnel, which was kind of cool. This cave. Darkness to burn, and candles, wax to collect. And then this pit had chat around it for some reason. Or sit, not chat, just sit. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to sit there, but there was no chat unless you already had chat open with people. But then you'd go down that pit and it would ask you if you want to return to Isle. Revisit Isle. So I think that is all of Aviary that I've got right now. I used to be able to use that as a trampoline by not pressing the checkbox, the check mark. So there's a look at all the emotes I had collected by the end. The blank spaces, one is Manticore, and the other two are non-existent still, as far as I recall. Non-existent. And then, so we had blank spaces for a long time for emotes that weren't in the game. And then we're going to head on to home, and you're going to see me complete a quest for returning to home, teleport to home. And then that is it. So hope you're enjoying these videos. I will be continuing them. Next video after this one is going to be Prairie, obviously, because this is going back a couple of days now. Okay, thanks for watching.